I'm in Shenandoah National Park, and this is the little Stony Man Trailhead. There's my little red car. There's the trailhead right there, and we're going to go up there and I'm going to hike. There's a trail up here that I've never hiked before called Passamaquoddy. So it's up this way, and we're going to follow that around over towards the Skyland Resort and then loop back along the Appalachian Trail. The elevation here is 3225. So right down there's the trailhead and the cars, and you come up here and you'll see this is the intersection with the Appalachian Trail. That concrete signpost has an AT sign on it. You come up here and turn left and head south, which is this way. Well, I'm just a short ways up the trail, and here's a spot where one of these mystery pipes, armored pipes, comes up out of the ground and comes over here, and there's the end of it right there where it was cut. And hold on a second, let me get rid of my trekking poles here for a minute. If you come over here and take a look, you can see the that's the wrap, the metal wrap around it. It's got a couple more layers of stuff, and there's the end of it. And I can tell from the feel of it and that whitish appearance that that's a lead pipe. So that used to be a water pipe. Four-tenths of a mile into my hike, I'm up to 3,420 feet, and this is the intersection. I've been hiking on the Appalachian Trail, and right here it takes a sharp left this way and continues on up the side of the mountain towards Stony Man. I'll be coming back that way. Here's the way I came. Here's where I came from, up from the parking lot. But I'm going to basically continue on straight. You'll see that's blazed blue, and starting here, this trail is named the Passamaquoddy Trail. I think this was an old mining road. I'll explain more about that when I do the map talk. The copper mine's way up there. I've done another video on that. But I think the ore came down what is now the Appalachian Trail, which is a road, and just continued on this way around the side of the mountain to the furnace spring, where there was a copper smelting furnace and a spring. The furnace is long gone, but the spring's still there. I'll show you that when we get there. .5 miles into my hike, I'm up to 3,450 feet, and I'm going to step out closer to the edge here in a minute, but it's really windy, so I thought I'd narrate some of this from back here. This is a viewpoint along the Passamaquoddy Trail. That's looking to the west, and that's a Massanutten mountain range over there, and that gap is New Market Gap. The town of Luray's down here. And then Stanley's further south down that way. Up here is Stony Man. He's laying on his back looking up at the sky. You can see his beard and his nose and so forth. Stony Man. And I'm going to continue on this trail this way to the south. From looking at the maps, it looks like it wraps all the way around here, all the way over to Skyland Resort, really, at a fairly constant elevation, around 3,400 feet. Let's step out here closer to the edge and see if you can still hear me or not. Probably not. There's where I came from, around that bend right there. And let me get up here. Ugh. That's Skyline Drive down there. Here's a look to the west. The town of Luray is down there. New Market Gap. And then down this way, Stanley. And we are going to continue to the south this way and wrap all the way around the mountain over to Skyland Resort. I'm hiking along the Passamaquoddy Trail. There's a view to the west. This road, for a mountain road, it's fairly flat, more or less 3,400 feet elevation. There's where I came from. And those brightly colored trees look to me like birch trees. There's the Shenandoah Valley that way, and then this is the way I'm headed. Eight-tenths of a mile into my hike. I'm still cruising around 3,400 feet. Right now I'm at 3,430. And I just got done walking across this big old rock slide. I can hear the cows down in the valley mooing. 1.4 miles into my hike. The elevation here is 3,400 feet. That's where I came from. And here's a clearing. We're getting close to Skyland Resort now because look, there's a power line coming up from the valley. Three-phase power line coming up and heading on up to Skyland. And we're continuing on this way till we get to the Furnace Spring. .5 miles into my hike. The elevation here is 3,410, and this is the first of two pump houses that are here. This one's in a location that they, on the old maps, they refer to it as the Furnace Spring, so I think this was probably the original Furnace Spring, and I'm guessing that the actual smelting furnace was somewhere near here so they could use the water as a resource. Anyway, this one nowadays is called Skyland Pumphouse number 1. And if you listen, it's in there pumping like mad. There's the trail there. The sun's at a very low angle still. Up there is where that three-phase power line comes in, and there's 3 transformers hanging off that pole. So there's a 3-phase step down, and it obviously feeds this, and probably if I follow the wires up the hill a short ways I can find the other pump house, which I didn't know until last night that there was even another pump house. Till I looked on the Shenandoah Park land records and saw it there. So I'm gonna go up this way and see if I can find it just for kicks. Alrighty, well, the electrical power supply for that first pump house, the pump house is just down the side of the hill there a little ways, and here's an access road back to the electrical power, and that's the Furnace Spring Horse Trail blazed yellow, which is for horse trails. The Passamaquoddy Trail comes around the bend right there where that concrete post is. That's not marked, but that's the old Skyland road that goes down the side of the west side of the mountain all the way down to the Luray area. I've hiked that before, and I have a video on it on my channel. And I'm gonna start climbing up this way. I'm not sure if I can get to that second pump house because of the overgrowth, but we'll see as I get a little closer. Maybe I can. If not, I'm just going to keep climbing until I get up to the Stony Man parking lot, and then we'll loop back to my car on the Appalachian Trail. .6 miles into my hike. I'm out of breath. The elevation is 3,480. And this is Pump House 2. I'll get some shots of it. I practically walked past this, so I thought I'd get a shot of it. This is the Ampitheatre at Skyland. And up this way, there's an actual paved road over there. And up here I see some cabins. And the little trail I'm hiking up on is over here. I'm going to go back and get on my trail and continue hiking up the mountain here. I'm looking for an old before I get to the parking lot, I'm looking for an old historic cabin, the Boulder Cabin. I was going to take pictures of that since I'm here, if I can find it. .9 miles into my hike. I'm up to 3,550 feet. And yeah, these are the two old cabins I was looking for. I bushwhacked off the trail on a compass bearing to get here. That one's called the Boulder. And this one's called Valmer. This one over here is being restored by with funds from the Shenandoah National Park Trust. So maybe one of these days when they get it fixed up, they'll be nice if they opened it up to the public for periodically to go in and see what it looks like. I'll try and get some pictures here from the street. Okay, I'm not going to bother to try to explain exactly how I got on this road from that trail I was on, but ESP and a compass and some maps. So I'm climbing the mountain still to get up to the Stony Man parking lot. Once I get up there, I'll do another little short video. That's my turnaround point up here. .3 miles into my hike, I'm up to 3,680 feet. I'm up to the Stony Man, or to the Skyland complex now. There's a horse trail here. There's some of my stuff taking a rest. That's a horse trail heading up towards Stony Man summit. And here's the parking lot, and man, is it full. This is the parking lot where most people park their cars to hike up to Stony Man summit. I think I'm going to, the Appalachian Trail's over there at the other end of this parking lot. There's gnats all over the place, really bad. I'm going to sit here and drink some water before I start my hike back. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to head on up this horse trail, and this eventually intersects the Appalachian Trail up here, so I'll pick up the AT up this way. .7 miles into my hike. The elevation here is 3,840 feet. That's the way I came from, up the horse trail. That goes up to Stony Man summit, and I'm going to go this way, which is the Appalachian Trail heading to the north. .8 miles into my hike. The elevation here is 3,840. I know this doesn't look like much right now. It'll look more like a road in the wintertime, but this is the old road that led to the Stony Man copper mine. I found this road about a year ago, and I hiked it in the wintertime, and I have a video on my YouTube channel about that. So if you're interested in the Stony Man copper mine, you can go look at my YouTube channel. But that's it. The mine's off in that direction, a tenth of a mile or so. It's very difficult to follow this road though. And then the Appalachian Trail is right back there. I stepped off the Appalachian Trail. I'm actually standing up on the old road right now. And a good landmark is that swamp down there. Most of the year the water is oozing out of the mountain and fills up in that little swampy area there. So you've got a swampy area and you've got some pine trees over there. And if you look up here from down there, you'll see the trace of the old road. So I'm standing down here right next to the swamp, and right up there, it'll show up more in the wintertime, but I can see it right about in through there, in the middle of the camera, the trace of the road heading up that way. .4 miles into my hike. The elevation here is 3,590 feet. And I'm at Little Stony Man. There's a viewpoint here, looking to the west. This elevation is above, I'm above Passamaquoddy Trail now. Same side of the mountain though, but I'm just higher up on the mountain now than Passamaquoddy's around 3,400. May as well do a 360. There's where I came from, down from higher up on the mountain. And you step out here on these rocks. There's some puddles of water here. And then you get this view to the west. There's Luray, Virginia down there. So I'm going to keep heading this way, about a quarter of a mile back to my car. This is a map of today's hike. It's two quadrangle maps pasted together. The right side is Old Rag Mountain, 1994, and the left side is Big Meadows, 1994. And the purpose of the hike was to hike the Passamaquoddy Trail. This is one of the few trails in the park that I hadn't yet hiked, so I hiked it on this hike. I parked here at the Little Stony Man Trailhead. This is on Skyland Drive at mile marker 39. You come up the hill and you'll immediately turn left on the Appalachian Trail. Follow the Appalachian Trail up the side of the mountain. When you get to this first turnoff here, the AT makes a hard left and continues on up the mountain this way. I went straight, and this becomes a blue-blazed Passamaquoddy Trail starting right here. Wraps around the side of the mountain. And this side of the mountain is very, very steep here. And there's sheer rock cliffs actually. I took some pictures of that. This trail maintains a fairly constant elevation of about 3,400 feet. Follow this on around to the furnace spring, which is right here. Now I noticed on the online Shenandoah land records maps that there was 2 pump houses shown here. The first one used to be called the Furnace Spring, and then there's another one nearby. The Furnace Spring now is called Skyland Pump House number 1, and then I looked for the newer one, which is a ways up the hill here, called Skyland Pump House number 2. Then I came back down, and the roads shown here on this map, I don't think they're totally current. So what I did was I drew in a dotted line to show this Furnace Spring Trail coming up to here. This is the Stony Man parking lot. This is the Skyland Resort Complex. This is the old road. I pointed this out in my video. This is the old road going down the side of the mountain to the west, down to Luray. Right in here, it's not shown on the map, but right in here, I looked for and located the Boulder Cabin, which was built in 1911. Got some pictures of that. And it's being restored using funds from the Shenandoah National Park Trust. Once it's done, they're going to use it to provide housing for the Artist in Residence program that they have in the park. Followed this trail and also part of a road up here to the Stony Man parking lot. Now, I was originally just going to take the Appalachian Trail all the way back, but instead of doing that, I took this horse trail up to here and then picked up the Appalachian Trail. Now, this point right here, I stopped here to point out that there's the trace of an old road. I just drew it in here. The trace of the old road that came up like this to the north to the old Stony Man copper mine, which is located right about here. I have a separate video on that. Then started descending the mountain on the Appalachian Trail back to my car. Now, if you're going to hike it, the map I just showed you is good because it's got location information on it. But really, this map of the Park Service online is a pretty good map that shows the trails, and the road network that they show here is up to date. So I'd go with that also. Ended up being exactly 4 miles and a total ascent of 923 feet. And that was the hike for today.